Hi, John Gerard with Quail Homes. I want to share today something really important to me, and then of course us, is site cleanliness. And then we're going to show you some things what we do with our floors to help prevent squeaks. So Don has been working with us for about 14 years, and the story with Don is a friend of mine and him worked together in a furniture warehouse. And I saw him working one day, and I said, that's the guy I want, and I have the job in my vision of what I wanted, which no builder really has, is a guy like Don. I want our sites to be the cleanest in the county. And when we scan around with the photos, you can see this is a construction site like none other. You can see how everything's neatly stacked, organized. Don makes his rounds. What do you usually hit houses a couple times a week?
Yep.
And so he's basically, as construction's going on, there is a part of a cleanup. There's another part of, we have a truck with a dump trailer for him that he'll load up for the recyclables. So he's keeping this job clean and organized, and we're going to show you some things in the house that we're doing as well that Don does. So Don, as we're coming up to the front door here, one of the things that we talk about is the ingress and egress out of these houses, whether it's through the front door, through the garage. It can get messy, dirty, and we want to protect this home during construction. So why don't you show us what you're doing with these front posts right here?
Well, what we have done, you'll see these corner things put on the front here. They're on before it even gets stained. We want to protect it once they're set up so they don't get nicked and dinged and they don't look good. So now these just got stained early in the week, so we got back up here and put on our protection so we won't have that problem.
So our clients here, really important part of this job is the old school timber framing. So this material is really important to them. We had really good craftsmen building it, and we certainly want to protect it during the construction process, and that's one of the scopes of work that Don does. We can show you some other stuff inside the home as well. So in building a home, when I'm kind of the boss, to me everything matters, and sometimes it's the little things. So when you look at this front door, this is a temporary door, and maybe you can explain what we're doing with this to help protect it.
Well, we cover, first of all, especially the thresholds, because that gets the most wear and tear on any house. And then, but we put down the plywood or something here, plywood, in this case a pallet, so the guys can clean their shoes when they go in. We hate to take in any gravel or anything. You can knock it off, and it really helps. And our subcontractors are pretty aware of it. They help me a lot in cleaning this, keeping the place clean too. I set up trash bins on the site so they know at the end of the day they sweep and clean, put it in the bin for me, which really helps. And they've really got good at it. So
part of the culture is a clean, safe site. And of course, when we started this 14 years ago, I had this vision. Of course, you're seeing it in play. But it took a while because in general, you go to other builders and their other sites, they're messy, they don't clean up after themselves. So I thought if I could lead the way and have somebody like Don that does a great job, then they would respect Don and Don's work. Because our goal is to always have it nice for the next trade partner coming in.
Right.
And then they respect it after the day of work, and also when they change the baton to the next trade partner. Correct. It's really important.
Yep.
This threshold here is like we have some protection on here to protect it, and we'll show you some other things here. So you can see people are coming in and out. It's a construction site. These are really hard to change later, so we figured out a way how to protect them during construction so they're nice and new when people move in. So what we're going to show you here is we're very sensitive to your subfloor, how we deck the floors, what we're standing on, and how we fasten it and glue it. You'll see videos on our website, even our sales pamphlet. But a big part of it is when we actually do the framing, we tighten the spans of the subfloor. They're 16 inches on center. And then we go with a little thicker decking than most builders do. And then the key is to then glue and screw it. So Don, why don't you talk about the framers do the glue and screw, and then post-framing, what do you do?
That's just it. As soon as the subfloor goes on a post and beam, I come in and the day right after them, and I'll walk the thing to see that they've indeed screwed everything down as required. And these guys, I noticed in this one, are very good. It's every 5 inches on everything. And on the seams, they even add more just to protect it. And the next thing I have to make sure is do that before any walls come up, because the extra weight would get on maybe somewhere where I would need to screw it, which they know too. But this house has got a pretty solid foundation on it. There's a lot of different floors go on these, so it could be carpet to hardwood flooring, manufactured wood, but they all want a nice, clean, level surface. That's what we have here.
So we have plenty of experience in our past of going in and fixing some flooring that doesn't work, i.e. the squeaks and movements and stuff like this. So we've developed this system, like I said, 16 inches on center. This is 7/8 decking. And then the glue and screw. It's not that we just don't trust our framers, but you gotta remember they're working for other builders too, and they don't have the same sensitivity to this as we do. So Don is not only the checkpoint, but he'll show you an example of how we go about this. This is a nail gun, and he's gonna, or a screw gun actually. These are screws here. Yeah. And he'll go and walk the house and find spots that maybe were missed. How many times do you do this throughout construction?
I do at least 4 walks, and I clean too, so I'm always being aware of it as I'm cleaning.
So he cleans with a real brush and a dustpan, and he's paying attention every time he's working the home.
That's right.
And when you screw her down, you have your screw gun with you.
Yes.
And so if he sees a spot that's needed, he does that. And I would venture to bet anybody, we got more screws in our subfloor than anybody in the county.
Yep. I would too.
Show us how this works.
You line up, you take your seams, of course, but then you can tell from these, as they're coming down, where they've done it. They've been really good, 5 inches off center. So, but if there's something, I find something, which thank goodness I haven't, I just go ahead and I'll come back, I'll come in, I'll just hit them. And you can hear the snap that tells you it's doing its job. And if they don't get countersunk, that's one thing I look for too. And I did this for a reason, just to show you what I'll do if I come in, I find a few, I can countersink these. And then you can jump and make sure they're countersunk. And that's another thing I look for, because the wood, especially, you don't want nothing under there that's going to cause a squeak. I keep it.
So I can guarantee you, of course, with Don's help, and he does love his job, that you're going to get a clean, safe site during construction, which means a better home when you live in there, and you're also going to have floors that are as sturdy as we can possibly do.